Immigration cases are speeding up, but why? Hi, I'm immigration attorney Jim Hacking, practicing law throughout the United States out of our offices in St. Louis, San Diego, Washington, D.C., and Chicago, Illinois. In this video, we're going to tackle the topic of how fast cases are being processed at USCIS in 2025, 5 months into the Donald Trump administration. I'm shooting this video right around July 9th, 2025, and in this video, I want to talk to you about a phenomenon that we're starting to see at USCIS. Now, I do believe that we are seeing some of the benefits of the end of the Biden administration. In other words, that they were pushing cases a little bit faster. They were putting in processes to make cases go faster. And what we're seeing now is the rewards of that. We're seeing the fruits of that labor. We're starting to see certain cases get scheduled for interview very quickly, and cases are moving along a little more quickly. Now, there is still a huge backlog at USCIS, a backlog of citizenship cases, a backlog of green card cases, backlog of asylum cases. So not every case is going quickly, but we are starting to see maybe 20, 25%, 30% of the cases go much, much faster than they have been historically. Now, overseas cases where you're trying to file for an overseas spouse are still taking 12 to 14 months. So those haven't gotten faster, and I think that plays into my new theory. So I've been working on a new theory. I want to share it with you in this video, and here it is. I believe that cases are going to go faster at USCIS, not because they want to help immigrants, not because they want to do their job better, not because they are trying to be an efficient organization. No. I believe that cases are going to speed up and are speeding up because they're trying to find the people that they can deport more quickly. Now remember, they are operating under a quota of 10,000 people a day or 1 million people a year, whichever ones you hear from the news. They want to increase the number of deportations. Now, during the Obama administration and the first Trump administration and the Biden administration, all those administrations said that we want to focus on deporting criminals and people who keep violating our immigration laws. And so that was sort of the role behind DACA, where President Obama wanted to use the government's limited resources to focus on people who, like I said, broke the law or were violent offenders, things like that, and then not spend enforcement dollars on the young people who came here through no fault of their own and had received DACA. And during the Trump administration, they similarly focused on criminals, and then with the Biden team, they did it again. Now they're focusing on these quotas, and when you have quotas, you have to be able to find the immigrants. So if you look at what they're doing and watch their behavior, you can extrapolate or work backwards from what their goal is and see how they're going to get there. And of course, whenever you apply for an immigration benefit, you are raising your hand and saying that you are here. And you're giving them your fingerprints, you're giving them your address, you're letting them know that you are physically present in the United States. So if they have to hit quotas, what better way than to look at the cases where people are raising their hands every day and saying, I'm here, I want an immigration benefit. And I'm not necessarily saying that they're going to deny cases at a higher rate so that they can feed the deportation machine, so they have more human bodies to put into deportation. I'm not necessarily saying that yet. I might say it at some point in the future. But what I'm saying now, today in 2025, is I believe that the system is going to go faster, probably for people with weaker cases. The people with stronger cases are probably going to go more slowly because they figure those people will get the benefit. Now, maybe everybody's cases will just go faster, thinking that if we make everybody's case go faster, we will find the people who don't deserve to be here, who aren't eligible for a benefit, who are ineligible for adjustment of status or for citizenship or for asylum, right? So they have these files now with all this information about these people. What better place to find people that we can deport and hit our quotas? In other words, ICE and USCIS are often in the same building, or they are upstairs, downstairs from each other, or they're down the street from each other. And USCIS is greatly being encouraged to feed as many immigrants to that deportation quota. It all comes back to the quota, and it all comes back to the mandate from Stephen Miller to deport these 1 million people in the United States. And so that's what I think is going to happen. I think you're going to see cases go faster and faster for lots of people on cases where people are physically present in the United States because they want to find them and they want to either detain them or deport them. And that's what you're going to see in the months and weeks to come. We're definitely seeing a speed up. We're definitely seeing people getting their citizenship interviews 2 or 3 months. We're definitely seeing people who have a green card based on marriage application on file. And if they don't have a lot of evidence, they're getting scheduled for interviews very quickly. Why? Because of that February 2025 memo that says if you get a denial notice, you're also getting a deportation notice, and that's how they're going to hit their numbers. They're going to use that USCIS agency, which is supposed to simply process benefits, as an arm of ICE, as an arm of deportation, as an arm of kicking out those people and therefore hitting their quotas. Does this make sense? I hope so. Let me know what you think about my theory. I think it's a good one. Sad one, but a good one. Give us a call if you need our help, 314-961-8200, or email us info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. Remember, please just reach out to the firm if you're thinking about hiring us. If you just want free information, there's nothing wrong with that. We're certainly happy to give it to you. That's why I do my Immigration Answers live show 3 or 4 times a week. That's just me answering questions for an hour or an hour and a half, 3 or 4 times a week, trying to help as many immigrants as possible learn about the process, learn about the system. That's what that's for. So if you want to join me on the show and ask me a question, you can text the word SHOW, SHOW, to 314-470-3300, and we will have you there to ask me questions, whatever you want. You can also find us on TikTok @Immigration Hacking. And finally, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Turn on the alarm. That way, whenever we go live, you'll be alerted right away, and you'll be able to get in and ask me a question that way as well. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.